I also remember telling him, just a side note here, I told Kanye, him and John Legend, just this little inside baseball tea here of the music, of my little music history past. So him and John Legend, they had done this little sword fight thing before the show. And so Kanye, myself, a couple of friends of mine, and, there was like some of his people that I didn't know who they were. He was asking us, he was like, so what do you guys think about the sword fight thing, after the show? And I was like, everybody else was like, oh, it was fantastic. It was great. And I was like, actually, Kanye, it was kind of whack. It was kind of corny. You might want to take that. I mean, it just didn't go well. And so he was just kind of like, whoa, because, most people don't tell these celebrities like, what they actually think. What's up, everybody? I am back with another video. Welcome to my channel. I am Keisha King. And today I'm going to be talking about the Kanye West and Candace Owens appearance at, I believe it was Fashion Week or wherever they were, when they wore the White Lives Matter shirt. It doesn't really bother me. They wanted to wear a White Lives Matter shirt. Okay, well, there's a bunch of people that was wearing Black Lives Matter shirts, and All Lives Matter, and Blue Lives Matter, and Asian, everything. Father's Lives Matter, Jesus Matters. Everybody's wearing a shirt that's supporting something. I mean, okay, fine. This is America. You have freedom of speech. So I was minding my business, and again, I was on Twitter, and I saw these comments about Kanye and Candace's shirt. Now, it was a Twitter Spaces, and I peeked in for a little bit and just backed my way right on up out of there. So I don't know Candace Owens. I don't know her. Obviously, I've seen things that I've seen her show. I have seen things that she said. I have seen, those. I obviously I know who she is. I know Kanye actually better than I know Candace, because many of you know, years ago I was in the music industry, and Kanye and he was performing. Anyway, I've spent some considerable time around Kanye. Not a lot, probably a total of, I don't know, 8 hours, 7 hours. I don't know if that, I don't, something like that. Pretty much a full day. Now this is when Kanye, this was, he was just, he was just kind of, he had just risen to like the height of his success. I remember when, I think it was the MTV Awards, and he was like, can y'all tell me who Kanye West is? And I remember the crowd, and I remember telling him, I was like, yo, I mean, it was dope. It was so cool. Anyway, so I also remember telling him, just a side note here, I told Kanye, him and John Legend, just this little inside baseball tea here of the music, of my little music history past. So him and John Legend, they had done this little sword fight thing before the show. And so Kanye, myself, a couple of friends of mine, and, there was like some of his people that I didn't know who they were. He was asking us, he was like, so what do you guys think about the sword fight thing, after the show? And I was like, everybody else was like, oh, it was fantastic. It was great. And I was like, actually, Kanye, it was kind of whack. It was kind of corny. You might want to take that. I mean, it just didn't go well. And so he was just kind of like, whoa, because, most people don't tell these celebrities like, what they actually think. And so I don't know, it's just kind of a funny moment. Anyway, we talked about a bunch of other things. Maybe I'll get into another time. But Kanye wearing something controversial really should not shock a whole lot of people. Honestly, like, it shouldn't. Kanye is a leader. He's a leader. He is, regardless of what you think about him, he still provided some of the best hip hop music in the beginning, because all some of this stuff that he does now, I'm like, I don't know what's going on with that. But Kanye had some really, he had some good, he had some great music. He really did. He really energized the music industry back then. It was something fresh. It was something new. And I mean, obviously, the Kanye beats. He's also a producer. Like, I don't think people remember this or know this. I don't know, but Kanye was producing a lot of big hits before he even was came on the scene as a rapper, and then he continued to do those things. So anyway, um Kanye is he's a trendsetter. He is going to do those kind of things. I mean, look at his clothing line. Like, it's not my cup of tea, but it's certainly, he sets trends. He's going to do something different. Candace Owens. I say this in political circles all the time. Regardless of what you think of Candace Owens, you have to give her props for bringing the conservative idea, Republican idea, to Black American culture. When Kanye West says, I like the way Candace Owens thinks, says something like that, that was really phenomenal, truly. And I'm not discrediting all of the other leaders, Black leaders who were conservative before, long before Candace Owens. I'm not discrediting them. I pay homage to all of those people who paved the way, who were on, who long before any of, the rest of us saw, what was going on, you know but they didn't make that leap into culture. They didn't. It's just a fact. They did not. And that doesn't mean I agree with everything Candace says. I don't agree with everything anybody says. Heck, sometimes I make a statement and then I can change my mind 2 seconds later. Okay, I have the right to do that. You're not going to agree with everything anybody says or does, but the point is, Kanye and Candace, regardless of how you feel about them, regardless of if they say things that you don't like all the time or the delivery in which they say it, I mean, so they have the right to say it. Anyway, back to this Twitter Spaces. So the Twitter, they were talking about, well, why are they doing this? This is bad for the Black people who are on the who are on the streets doing the work. They're going to make it harder for Black people. Okay. I don't believe that. I ran the Black Voices for Trump office in the 2020 political national campaign cycle in Jacksonville, Florida. And there are Black folks who, the moment you say Republican, it's like they go into a trance. They can't see anything. They have no room to think for themselves. It's Democrats are good, Republicans bad. So you say Republican and they just, oh my God, you're hateful, you're a racist, whatever. You hate yourself. There are other Black folks who are kind of apolitical. They're like, oh yeah, whatever. I don't want to hear anything. And then there are this emerged Black group of people, Black Americans, who were like, something's wrong. And they don't feel like they are oppressed. They don't feel like every white person is racist. They don't feel like they see the opportunity that America offers. They want to get to the bag. They want to get to the money. They're trying to figure out how to seize and capture this opportunity that is offered in America. They have friends that are of all different types of races and cultures and groups and stuff like that. They are not on this whole racism is in around every corner, like a lot of like some other people. And so they are interested in what Candace Owens and Kanye West and Dr. Thomas Sowell and Walter Williams and Milton Friedman and Larry Elder, and they're interested in what they have to say. Because here's one thing that people will not tell you. And I'm just using Candace as a I'm just using her as an example. There are many black people who I could use. I just this is who I'm talking about. There are many black people who say the same thing that Candace Owens says. They won't tell you that. But my 91-year-old elderly uncle, before he died, I was asking him about what he thought about culture and black black people, what's going on. And he was talking about how these young men, they don't want to work hard, how they don't want to, they become sorry. My own daddy would say stuff like that. They don't want to work hard, not doing what they're supposed to do. They want to provide an excuse for everything. They My daddy could not stand a lazy sorry man. He could not. um Talking about how, the violence and stuff and how it needs to stop and these kids are out of control. And I've heard many black men say this. I have heard many black people say the same thing. But because Candace says it, or Kanye say it, or I say it, or anybody else say it, all of a sudden, gasp. You can't say that. When your mama and your grandmama sat there, they're saying the same things because don't none of them want to be knocked upside the head just going to get the mail, when they're coming out of their own homes. They don't want that either. Now, I'm not saying that all or most black people do violence with each other. I'm not saying that. I don't think anybody is. But we do have a problem with those types of things. Anyway, I'm not trying to get off into that. My point is that there are people who say the same exact things that Kanye says, that Candace says, and but because they're Republicans or they're conservative leaning or whatever, then it's a problem. That's the real problem. Truly, that's the real problem. Because when Al Sharpton used to say, when Don Lemon used to say that black men need to pull up their pants, when Al Sharp or Jesse Jackson used to say, we don't need to be doing abortions, as long as they were Democrat and they were saying it was fine. It's because they are leaning conservative. It's not about them being uh black and saying it, that they hate their race. No, it's about the party. That's how cult like people have become. Anyway, so in this Twitter spaces, you had people that were saying, well, why do they have to wear the shirt? It just puts us back. The people that are interested and are looking around and trying to figure out, okay, something is going on. You wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is not going to hinder their process. Let me help you on how to handle that. If you're out here knocking doors or doing one-on-ones, having one-on-ones with people in your talking to them about the conservative message. America believes in freedom of speech. They can wear and say what they want to say. Well, do you want somebody to police what you wear and say? No. That's how you handle that. If that is your struggle, there you go. You help them over with the idea of freedom of speech. Just like you have freedom of speech to criticize them, they have freedom of speech to wear the shirt that they want to wear. When Republicans, conservatives start doing this, oh, well, we can't say this, or you shouldn't say that, or da 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 da. That's why I call them woke Republicans. Because I'm listening to some people and they sound real woke. They just happen to be conservative, so they say. But they are all about the collective, all about the collective, all about not, don't say this, don't say that. You gotta, anyway, I digress. That's what I wanted to say. The people who are free enough to wear whatever they want to wear on their shirts, good for you. Good for you. This is America, and you can say what you want to say. Okay? That's that. That's that on that. All right, everybody, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I'm sure I'm going to catch a lot of heat, but I'm here for it. I got time today. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video so we can hear what other people think too. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.